I think when you think about it internally, you have to be thinking about how much are you willing to invest into this, and also how much buy-in you have from the top level, right? I think a lot of the conversations that I have with a lot of major brands start to hit a wall, and they get frustrating because you could have that team internally really leaning into the product, but if you don't get it at the highest level of the CEO on level down, right? Like, you're not going to get that buy-in that needs to happen of understanding that this is a fundamental shift that's happening. And the beautiful part of it is that you can then, even from a brand perspective, right? And I think we've been focusing on it from a consumer perspective, is being able to then take those rails and take that data that you have, and you're not necessarily tied to one system, right? Like, and I'll take something as simple as a membership rewards program, of saying, okay, this membership rewards structure doesn't work for us anymore. We can now export this into a new structure that maybe works for us going forward. And so I think a lot of that conversation needs to happen internally. I think personally, a blend of the two probably works best, because there are best practices in the industry that people that are down in the trenches every single day understand better than people that actually have to go and execute on it and sell it to their superiors. So I personally think that combination of the two works best. But I definitely am more excited when I see buy-in happen from the top.
Yeah, and I think definitely same with us. I think we have a culture of innovation at Diageo, and so we have license from our CMO and our leadership to go out and experiment, to test and learn. I think we started in this space really with partnerships, right? We do a lot of partnerships in culture. Our brands partner with celebrity talent a lot. In the Web3 space, you mentioned World of Women, which is a prominent collection. Johnny Walker partnered with them. Johnny Walker's purpose is to promote progress. That happened to marry well with the World of Women kind of mission. So we showed up with them at various events, at Art Basel, and we poured our product, and we find ways to collaborate. And I think that was a authentic way for Johnny Walker to get into this space. I think authenticity is the most important thing as you're trying something new. And then once we had built that muscle and brought some of those learnings in-house, then we started to leverage the technology to build, right? And approach our marketing business goals to leverage the technology for how it could help us, right? And so there's a lot to say there, but I think, in short, partnership first, then brought a lot of the thinking in-house.
Yep, I think that makes a lot of sense. And it's super valuable for folks in our audience, because I know we have a lot of CMOs, lots of folks from brands who are just kind of starting to think about their strategies. So really useful insights. I would love to chat a bit about the market state right now. So obviously, a lot of the Web3 activations that we heard about as brands were entering the space were at a time when the market looked quite different than it did at this moment in time. NFTs were super hot, everything was pumping. And I think that the motivations of a lot of brands entering the space back then, as a result, just naturally of where the market was, partially some people were in it for a revenue opportunity, partially some folks were in it to stay culturally relevant, which we've identified is still a thing. And some folks just purely wanted to beat their competitors to it as they saw other brands entering into the space. So I'd be curious to hear from you both, like, given the state of the market right now, like, what have you seen change that brands should really be taking into account as they think about their strategies as they're now entering the space? And where should brands be investing their time and their effort right now, particularly in terms of thinking of technology and strategy to have on their radar for the years to come?
I think the most important thing that I'm seeing right now is the innovation that's happening at the startup level in Web3 is definitely a positive level of innovation, in the sense that it's reducing a lot of the confusion associated with Web3 and NFTs in general, tokens, to make it more consumer-friendly for an audience that might not really understand the power of the technology or blockchain in general. So a lot of the conversations that we have with startups inside of Diageo and those that can help us build the digital future of our brands, whatever that may be, I think that the positive thing for me is they're almost building for that Web 2.5 consumer, right? That is used to a traditional e-commerce experience and may not be fully ready for Web3 or the nuances of blockchain technology. So for us, that's important, obviously, because we're a portfolio of scale brands, right? We sell millions of cases of our products on an annual basis, on a brand-by-brand basis. So in order to reach the consumers that we need to reach to grow our share by category, we need to be at scale. And so that's the positive thing for me in Web3 right now.